Hey guys, welcome to another session of RBTL. We're gonna go through the dev notes. Very late day for me to be able to read this. I should have done this first thing in the morning, but I was so busy. But it's really good. I'm with the stream live doing this, and there's a summary here, but everything summed up in this improvements, the summary table is also explained down here. So if you haven't checked this out, definitely check it out. I'm gonna give you guys the highlights of and what I think about them, the good, the bad, everything. Although I will say spoilers, not much bad in this dev note. Everything looks pretty good for me. So first things first, there's a huge Holo Trials improvements. Originally I was looking at this, and now they're having ranks. So it's like the world boss, there's ranks. And I was saying that in their notes, they were saying that there was an incentive for players to do this because it wasn't competitive. And I was like, no, this is not it. Like, just getting first, second place, and look at the image saying that these are the weekly challenges who score the highest in the Holo Trials. Who might be among the next time, right? Like, it's almost like it feels lame. But then I read further, and it was actually good. So basically, long story short, people who are scored to a certain amount will get gold and get additional rewards given to players scored within the top 50%. Now, based on the context of this, gold will be provided according to the rank of the players achieved, and it's reset once a month now. In terms of the Holo Trials, no more entry tokens needed. You can do it as much as you want, and then yeah, so you get additional rewards. But based on the context, it seems that the additional rewards most likely would be gold. But regardless, whatever it is, this is the actual incentive for people to try harder. Not only do you get gold out of it, which, I mean, by all means, this is probably still the only thing that Smilegate hasn't really addressed, although they have addressed it on different ways. So I'm not going to complain about it because I'm still pretty hyped for this dev note, this entirety. So getting the gold there is a very good incentive for players to actually try. Yeah, okay, maybe not all the players can get a rank 1, of course it's not possible. But, you know, try your best and you get paid for it. And to me, that is enough. Like, the world boss changes has allowed players to see that, okay, if you get a different rank, even though you get all gold from your chests, you get different amounts of gold depending on the tier. So I'm assuming that this will probably be the same. You can see the ranking in this image. You have a preview. Because Holo Trials now is going to be reset, like a longer time to reset, so it's not like a once per week reset boss rotation. They've mentioned that the wisdom gaze you're gonna get more of, but we also have more stuff to purchase. What's interesting, and I don't know if everybody has remembered this, what's interesting is that originally when the Holo Trials was actually announced, they were saying that they're going to take the old challenge. For older players, you know what that challenge was? The challenge was like unique challenges, like once a month-ish, and you can grind like special artifacts, limited time artifacts, like Isla Violin, Crimson Seed, all that kind of stuff. For those players, if you remember, during the original dev note of the Holo Trials, they already said that was coming. You would be able to grind special artifacts along exclusive equipment. So it's kind of interesting that they actually gated us from that for so long, and they kind of present this as like, oh, look at this, now you could grind the artifacts. But actually, if you actually remember, the original dev note was saying that they would already have that. So in this sense, it's kind of like a eh. So overall, the Holo Trials rewards, I think, is great. That's an addition that they never talked about. The ranking thing to be the, like, I guess the objective for you to get certain rewards, that was never talked about. So this is all brand new. In terms of if I scroll down here, you can now get like these artifacts. That was originally planned. Now the plan, even though the original dev note did not say that you would get the old artifacts, here we can see a preview that yes, you could get all the old artifacts that you've missed. So for newer players and even older players who at the time may not have farmed them to the max degree may find this opportunity to do it now. As you can see, the costs are quite high. So I mean, if you get like, you know, like if you get rewards like, you know, SSS, yeah, of course you can get it. You could get quite a bit. And the fact is that you can still continue to do it like as much as you want. It's grindable now, so that's great. Without any currency, without any energy. So I feel that is definitely a step in the right direction. There's gonna be a new boss added, Xeno. He's gonna be ice type. For those who are, again, older players, Xeno was one of the original challenge bosses, and I'm assuming that they're gonna jack up his difficulty as well for the Hall of Trials. Which I'm pretty excited about. I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter. But I didn't feel that this feature needed more bosses. It needed what they already are solving in the dev note here. They needed more incentive to do it. Yeah, generally people like get a new hero. They need, let's say, like for example, I got Lidica recently. I'm like, oh, okay, I really want her exclusive equipment now because I never had her. So I grind it a couple times. I got the exclusive equipment enough to craft, and then that's it, right? And you kind of, auto the rest. But now there's incentive to do that. So I don't know if a new boss really adds to it, although it's a nice addition. I don't think it's like a super, like, it's a huge deal. And the fact is that boss is already in the game, since Xeno is one of the villains. It will continue down. So now we're gonna move into Hell Raid. So just to sum up everything for the Hall of Trials, my thoughts is, I think that this is a lateral change. And I said this on the stream before I did the video recording. Lateral change in terms of like, it's the step in the right direction, but we're not gonna see like huge step forward in terms of like the meta and power creep, which I'm okay with because everything below is like power creep central. And I'm kind of scared for it, but I'll give my final thoughts on that after we read this. So Hell Raid difficulty, all the bosses are open. You can fight one boss a week, one boss per entry, and the bosses reset at the end of the month. So by the time of 4 weeks, ideally you would complete all of the bosses to get maximum rewards. I know for newer players or mid-tier players, they might have harder difficulty, but definitely keep your eyes out for content creators who create strategy guides for this. I'm never one of those content creators that like kind of what do you call it, pioneer strategies. I always just go with like whatever the top players are doing and just copy them. So don't expect that from me. I'll just say that right now. But in terms of, yeah, like it's gonna be once a month that the bosses are reset. So kind of expect it like Automaton Tower. But every week you have some big boss to fight, and apparently they're gonna scale the Queen difficulty to a certain degree where it's kind of like and I'm quoting this from their writing, it's somewhere here, but they're saying that as hard as the deepest parts of the abyss. So does that mean floor level 100? Does that mean floor level 99? I'm not quite sure. Regardless, we have the preview. This was in the previous dev note when the the Hell Raid was introduced. These were already here. None of the stats change from the original dev note, but in case people haven't seen it, I mean, this is good stuff. You got a piece for every set. Good stats in them. Some are better than others. Of course, we always get those mix and match of salty subs in some weird main stat. But yeah, those are it. After you beat the boss, so these rewards are one time only. Initial clear on the boss, just like we kind of had that experience in our regular raid recently in one of our recent patches. Once you defeat the boss on a first clear, the initial clear, you'll be able to teleport to that boss. So as you can see, that gold arrow. Not only that, let me keep moving down here. Not only that, we will also be able to purchase, let me go to the actual place. Let me keep going down. So yeah, okay. So here's a main point here in this text. So one thing is that every single boss kill now, you're guaranteed a level 88 equipment drop. That's insanely crazy. Also you get 2 Queen's Guard badge. So that's the currency you would exchange with Alexa, presuming that Alexa is still the NPC that you could purchase stuff from, which means you can get your T88s, your speed, your immunity gear like way quicker now. And Yeah, so and the gold chest will appear after killing the boss. You might get additional accessories, and again, there's no answer to what the accessories are here in terms of like, is it an 88 ring? Is it like, you know, are there 88 necklaces? That's a bit too speculative, but galaxy bookmarks for sure. And then ancient coins and gold acquired from monsters will also be increased. So there's absolutely, I would say that this is going to be part of the main end game for players now. Like, this is going to be that new carrot on the stick that players are always chasing, because if you're gonna get more gold, get more ancient coins, get all this good gear, and guaranteed to get gear drops. I know that a couple of the of my friends, like, who come to stream and stuff, they're always like, they haven't gotten an 88 drop in like a month or whatever. I'm like, what kind of RNG is that? Like, I get an 88 drop like every single run, but now you 100% guaranteed. And that's insanely good for those people who have bad RNG. The last thing is that you can also trade 3 labyrinth compasses for a malicious bug charm once a week. What this looks like, it seems to be that we're gonna have a lot of malicious bug charms. Presuming that the queen in normal raid still drops one, you might not even want to run normal raid anymore. This might be because like perhaps like the bosses are so hard, at least for a while, players might have to run multiple times in order to like kill the elite monsters. The elite monsters in the hell raid are still dropping T88 rings, which are very good. They can roll really high. A couple of if you guys watch my viewer account reviews and stuff like that on YouTube, you know that the best built heroes are running T88s, whether that's the sword, the chest, the counter chest, the 88 boot, the one you can, the immunity one, or the rings. And a lot of people do couple the ring with the helmet that drops with Carcanus. So I mean, the defense set completion is like just good, with good stats rolled on them. It's just insane. So I'm not sure what this really looks like in terms of practicality. Like, am I gonna be doing that, or am I or other endgame players able to run, like, you know, all the elites just like they have doing now with like 48 morale teams, 42 morale teams? Are they able to do that? I'm not quite sure. Regardless, that's fantastic. This is the step in the right direction, and although this is just like one step closer to this kind of power creep meta, it's going to be quite scary, and it's going to be hard to adjust at I would say the first couple months, especially for mid-tier players trying to get the end game, because end game players are ready for this content, but mid-tier players might not be. And for end game players to get this kind of level of gear on more heroes, and mid-game players may not be able to do this, it's gonna set them apart a lot. But don't worry, it will only take like maybe six months to a year before like the entire community sorts of like averages out again, like what we're seeing now. Sometimes I'm doing free to play account reviews or like minimal spending account reviews versus like the toppest, like the highest spenders, and the stats you can only get so much. And the only difference is that set apart is that, you know, player whales are usually just have more heroes built, but you can actually see that even free-to-play players are getting builds just as good as whales. It's just that they have less well-built heroes. Anyways, the last thing is that they are working on Nixie's Sanctum as well. So the last part of Nixie's Sanctum, I think there's actually 2 more zones left. We're on zone 3, so generally it's been 5 zones. So that's interesting. Definitely something to look forward to. And then another one, this is very good. Convenience improvements in the equipment, the management section, the function. First things first is that now you can do it in the manage equipment screen. So on the screen that you're like building and comparing builds, in the past, the way it is now, at the point of this recording, when you were like managing equipment and you have like, okay, this is potentially good gear on this build, you can't enhance that gear on the spot. Now they're allowing you to do it. You can also filter multiple sets. So let's say if you're building like let's say a Melissa on a speed set and immunity set, no longer do you have to do like one set at a time to find which stats fit her the best, but rather you can filter it out. So let's say if you're on the weapon tab, like the sword tab, the sword icon tab, you have speed and immunity, and you're on the sword tab and you're looking and you're finding stats, and you can go to the chest tab and it will continue to keep that filter. So that's an insanely good UI update. I've been waiting for that for a long time, and just the fact that you can also enhance gear within the management like screen is insane, insanely good too. So I keep using insane. The other thing that I have to say is that you can now align substats. So now you can filter with substats, and this was one thing I've been complaining about for the longest time. Like if I was looking for like the fastest speed subs, like let's say if I'm just building a scuffed CR booster, I wanted the fast speed subs. I don't care about offsets. I don't care if it's on a destruction set, on a unity set, whatever. I just want my fastest. It's much harder, especially if I don't remember which gear, because like if it's on a unity set, if it's on a like a destruction set and it has like, let's say 14-15 speed on it, chances are you might not be using that right away. But they're there. And then now that you could do this is fantastic. You can find so much gear this way, way easier to manage. So this is just overall like really excites me, because to me like UI UX, it like really bugs me when it's really bad. Alchemist Steeple is also getting a little change. They were saying that they're changing this because it wasn't clear before. In my opinion, there was no problem with it before, although this looks fancier and this works, so why not? Don't have much to say about that. Improvement to the hunt difficulty. This is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna highlight well, first things first, the Banshee hunt is now gonna be easier. I won't explain why it's easier. You guys can read it literally on the screen. Pause the video if you need to. Golem as well. But Hunt 12 and 13 is being planned, all right, in the near future. Now it's Smilegate, so I'm not gonna be like it's gonna be next month or whatever. Near future can literally mean a year later for them. I'm just poking fun at them. No, Smilegate. This is actually a good patch, but you guys just have a reputation. Near future, but regardless, it's coming. It's at least in the works, and we have an image preview of this. Now, what's going on, and what I'm saying, I think it is gonna be a speculation here. On my part, but I think it's safe to assume. So in the Hunt 12 and 13s, you're gonna get an ingredient that is able to forge level 5 equipment into level 90. How this reads, and in terms of like how quickly the power creep can be, I would say that Hunt 12 and 13 most likely don't drop 90 equipment, and it's most likely not gonna be like, I'm assuming 12 and 13 may have like, maybe at a 13, Hunt 13, guaranteed 85 equipment drops if an equipment were to drop. So perhaps no more T70s. But the fact that it's saying that you could drop ingredients to forge 85 into 90 equipment, and 90, I mean, if we already know how crazy T88s are, 90, yes, it's just 2 points up, but this is the next level. I'm assuming that 12 and 13 won't drop 90. No matter how rare it is, I'm assuming it just won't drop straight. But most likely at least at 13, 100%, if you get an equipment drop, you get an 85. And I think the ingredients acquired here will most likely be an insane amount. In terms of like, you're going to require a lot of this ingredient, and perhaps even require a lot of the 85 equipment in order to craft your level 90 equipment. That's safe to assume. And I'm actually okay with this. I'm hoping that most players won't be complaining about it. It's so hard to get level 90 gear. Like, I'm hoping, because right now, what I feel like, this step feels like such a quick jump. I was almost feeling that it would be like the T88s would be, you know, they're gonna be on multiple sets from Hellraid, and then we won't see T90 until like much later. But again, remember, this is near future, so it literally could be that much later. But it feels like it's picking up quicker than I expected. And the fact that you can purchase Hellraid weapon, Hellraid armor, all that stuff much quicker now is definitely gonna change the horizon, I think. Anyways, they're gonna provide further details, so there's no longer a need to speculate too much, but that's what I'm assuming, and I do hope that they do make it sort of hard in order to do it. The only thing is that, at least what we see, is that if you reforge to the 90 equipment, you most likely won't be able to alchemist steeple it. In terms of like, have multiple 90 equipment and then run one of the essence or the founts, the gems, the conversion gems, most likely you won't be able to do it. There's no talk about conversion gems for 88s yet either, so that's somewhat good. That's going to keep that cap on us for a bit longer, but eventually all this stuff is going to be open. Like, they're going to allow it eventually. So let's not so yeah, anyways, new waifu on the screen there. I think a lot of people were mentioning that on the stream. And the very last thing I want to say again is the Japanese media packs and their reasoning for it to be delayed. It was supposed to come in March, so this month. It's going to be delayed until April. It could be tentative in my opinion, maybe even past April. But they are saying that because the, let's say like Kaorik, all the new heroes, they have like, they need all their language packs in the current languages right now. So they're probably just having a hard time doing that. And in my opinion, I mean, this game having multiple language voiceover is a luxury. I don't see many games having that. With this game doing this, it's like, it's fantastic. I can wait. April is not too far. So yeah, that's pretty good. And you know, if I scroll down here, most people have liked it. There's 25 hearts there. The comments are positive. I have to say that overall, this is very good. This is a very good way to start the quarter, Smilegate, with the Abyss finally released. Some people are still struggling with it. That was the content we were looking for. This is the stuff we were looking for. If you guys had just like maybe spaced this out, we wouldn't have had that drama a couple months ago where you had the 1-star rating thing. But this is good stuff. So anyways, that's my thoughts on this one. For the video recording, for the video people watching this on YouTube, definitely leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about it. Yes, of course, there's going to be problems, but I think this is a very positive dev note, so I'm not going to raise all those problems in this one. This is just my thoughts for this. I'm going to end this for the video recording. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next RBTL.